So this is like texture generation for particle effects. So what we need to do is we need to add a couple of layers. So add a new layer, add another one. So we've got two layers. So the first layer you're going to name it as a background color, and we're just going to flood fill that to be black. So that's black. So this is going to be our default texture, and we're going to change to our paintbrush, flick it back to white, make sure we've got grids on, show grids, yeah. So we're going to go to our brush settings, just go to view, show grid, yeah, or hit control plus, I think. Control apostrophe, that's it. So we've got we need an airbrush to make sure we've got a soft brush edge on, not hard edge, and we're going to scale that up using our brackets on our keyboard, our square brackets, yeah. So we want about half of the canvas size, so roughly in the middle. Click once, click twice, 3 times a lady, yeah. Now what we need to do now is we need to just go with our picker, our colour picker, which is the droplet thing. We just need to go around the edge, making sure that we've got no ones or zeros coming up. We have, because I need to actually get this a little bit and just move it over a little bit to be a little bit more central. So we're just checking at the edge, and it usually comes up with you want it to be 0, yeah? So that's that. So what we need to do then is we need to flatten the image, yeah? Control A, Control C, bring up our history window, undo the flatten, create a new layer, and just hit paste. This will then give our alpha channel, yeah? That gives us our alpha channel. So when we go into our channels box, we create a new channel, alpha channel, and by default it's set to 50. This is what all students make a mistake on, is that they just hit OK. You need to put that up to 100%, yeah? And then you Control V, and that gives you your alpha channel. Was that too quick? Alright, I'll start again. Where are you up to? Alright, I'll start again. Hang on. You've done it. Elliot's done it. So basically, you've got a channel, you put your paintbrush in, you click 3 times using a airbrush, yeah? Have you got that? Have you got that? I can't do it. Black screen with a grid, okay. So even with a black screen with a grid, you then go onto your brush settings, yeah? Make sure you choose a soft brush, yeah? The first one. The first one. Yeah? First one. Soft round. Put it up to about 300 pixels in size. By using your bracket keys. Yeah, about 300 pixels. Then make sure it's pretty central. Yeah. Make sure it's in the default, on the other layer, on the default layer. Have you now got Photoshop? Alright. Have you done that? Yeah. So then you add, then you need to flatten that image. So you go into the flatten the image. Yeah. So you get to that. Yeah. Go up to your window. Click on history. So it brings up your history. Yeah. Hit Control A. Control C. And then you undo the flatten. So you go back to the channel, yeah. Then you create a new layer. Just click on the history, yeah. Go to the one that says before flatten. Whatever's before flatten, just click it, yeah. Then you go to new channel. Add a new add a new layer, and then you name that alpha, yeah. Then you Control V onto that new layer, yeah. So you should now have an alpha, a default, and a background layer, yeah. And it should look like that, yeah. Then you go onto your channels, yeah. Add a new channel and make sure the opacity is set at 100%. Yep. Hit OK. Select the alpha channel and hit Control V. There is method in my madness with this. Yeah. So, if you were to leave that as it is, yeah. If you were to leave that Yeah. So that's our default texture. So we file save that as default. Now then, once you've got this, you can save this out as a TGA. Default 01 as a TGA. Then that will save both the color value and the alpha channel out as 32-bit. Yeah, so that's pretty much what we've done with the same thing with. It's the same process when you want to do other textures like the smoke. So if you think about those three layers, background color, texture, mask, take the mask into your alpha channel, and save as PSD. That's the one. Right. So the next one, and everybody's textures will be different. So we do File, New. We're going to call this Cloud. Give it a number, because you'll have many of these. I better put this as 3 now. Again, File, New. Going to call this Background. Have another one as Cloud. So we're going to change that to black. We're going to change our cloud to black, and what we're going to do is we're going to add a filter on there, and we're going to go to render, and we're going to go to clouds. Is it going to do it? Or perhaps it needs to be white. Make sure it's white and just go render clouds. That's it, sorry. Yeah. So once you've done that, we then need to add a layer mask. So if we just go to our layer mask down the side here, and we click on our paintbrush again, make sure we're on black, filter, render, clouds. Yeah. Now you can keep pressing that and it will give you another texture. But anyway, we'll just go with that at the moment. So make sure you're on black, hit click, make sure your brush is a little bit bigger. That should be about enough. So what we need to do is just invert that layer mask so it's inverted. So if you hit Control I, it will invert that. Yeah. Yeah. If it's just down the bottom here, it's called layer mask. Okay. Just down the bottom, add vector mask. Alright. So we can do a couple of things now at the moment. So what we can do is we can make sure we click on our actual cloud. You can invert the cloud texture by hitting Control I. Yeah. Depends what you want. But now we can do some adjustments. So you can do brightness contrast. So you can brighten it up and hit the contrast a little bit. So we're getting a little bit close to these edges. Yeah. So one thing you can do is you can hit Control L and it'll bring up your levels. So you can just slightly adjust those to fall off a little bit more. The other thing we can do is we can use our rubber stamp, our eraser. Where's the eraser gone? Eraser tool. So make sure it's a little bit bigger. And we can go onto our mask again. Make sure we're on black. And we can use our shift. Whoops. Sorry, use the brush, not the eraser. Use the brush. Make sure it's on black. So we can just brush a little bit, making sure that those edges are purely black, because we want those edges to be black so we don't see any of the polygon on the actual texture work. Alright, so that's our cloud effect. Yeah. Okay, once you've done that, what we're going to do is we're going to flatten the image again. So go to our layers and flatten the image. Control A and Control C to copy that. Then we undo the flatten. And we create a new layer, and that's going to be our mask. Alpha channel. Alpha. And then we Control V onto our alpha mask, and that gives us our channel. So we go over to our channel box, click New Channel. It's already set to 100% because we did it the last time, so we can just hit OK this time. Yeah. Control V. You'll see it even more this time, where you'll see the blackness going around. Yeah. So we just undo those, and then you'll see our actual cloud texture. Yeah. And you save that now as a PSD. Cloud 3 PSD. You can barely see it. That's what you want. Yeah. Because you will see it up on the texture when you do it, put it into Maya or into Unity. Yeah. Now you can always go in, just because I've gone and shown you how to do this mechanically. You can always go in and use the brushes to go in and add detail. Use a stamp. Use other textures to go in, create your own highly detailed cloud textures, or whatever textures you're using for fire, for plasma effects, or something like that. Okay, but it should show you the processes of doing these. Again, File, saves as a TGA. You now then save this as a TGA. Make sure it's 32-bit and hit OK. Okay. So that's your textures ready. Yeah? That's your textures ready. So we can go File, New Scene in Maya. You've saved the file, hopefully. I'm just going to stop there on that recording.